I know you feeling it.
Used to be in darkness, drowning in this ocean deep. Bed I made, I laid. I was close to sleep. Decisions had to make. You want your life, but want these streets. These streets want to play just like a friend, but I'm no Greek.
We really were.
Right.
And we had to not know. We had to lose. We had to have lost, what was given to us, that's just like you hang with dogs, you get fleas. You understand?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You hang with dogs, you get fleas. That's just like I try to instill. This is what I want my grandchildren to know there is a God.
Right.
And you depend on God and yourself. It's out here, it's just a loser. You know what I'm saying? These people, it's you living, put God first in everything that you do.
Right.
And acknowledge him in all that you do.
Right.
And he will guide your path and lead you. I want y'all to be better. I want y'all to know who y'all are in God's eyes.
Yeah.
Not man. Who care about man, what you wearing, what you got on, and all that, the show that you have to put for this world. This world, what they ain't gonna make it with you. This nothing. I don't fear no man. I don't fear him. You understand?
That's right.
And I try to do right. Well, let me say that junk don't bother me.
Let me ask you a question, too. According to this chart down here, which tribe are you from?
I don't know.
Okay, what there is in the Bible, it goes back according to who your father is. So, according to who your father is.
Read that.
Can you get that?
See, this is not coming out of our mouths. We gotta read it, so you know you got some truth, because all the truth you ever know is right here in the Bible. So when we read it, then you'll get to understand it. And you say, I've been taught something else. So when you start saying, they lied to me, what else have they lied to me about? That's the first logical thing.
That's what everything I say is. I be like,
how'd I get to this lie and keep on
how
going?
they brainwash us and have us, but it say I have to have not known, to know or have not known something.
Yeah. He's gonna read why.
Okay.
We are who we are. 18. Which one, 18?
The book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names, 20 years old and upward by their posts.
So that's when Moses actually was counting the people and telling them what the Most High said goes. Because we'll start going off on our own thing and then thinking something else. So Moses was laying down these laws. He said, by the house of your father. If you understand biology, that the sperm actually creates the kid.
Right.
Your egg is just sitting there waiting.
I know.
So that's the biology of it. But the house is the father. So if you got a white man that gets with a black woman, her kids are of the white man.
I got
If a black man gets with a black woman, her kids are. So you got to understand that.
Regardless of how they look. Still.
They can look white as white. We got brothers in our congregation. Brother looked white, but his father, his mother's white, his father's black. So he's an Israelite. Israelite just comes from our forefather Jacob.
Right.
Jacob wrestled this the angel and won, and he held the angel.
Right.
Angel said, "Let me go." He said, "I won't until you give me a blessing." So he asked him what his name was. He said, "Jacob." He said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but in the Hebrew, Yasharallah."
Yasharallah.
That means,
I see that, bro.
yeah, that means Prince God. Yah means he. So that Yah, Shar means prince. Allah, just like the Muslims say, Allah is God.
Right.
So is he, Prince, God. It's a simple language, the Hebrew language. So now the angel said your name will not be Jacob, which is in the Hebrew is Yahweh. It won't be Yaakov anymore. It will be Yasharallah. You or he, Prince Power. That's where you get Yasharallah. Everybody else says Israel because they changed it. They came out of the Hebrew when they were translated it. They didn't have any word that matched up with that, so they just said Israel. But the real name is Yasharallah. Everything in the Hebrew language is short form vowel sounds like Ya, Pa. That's part of the language. So Ya, Ga, Ba. So it's short sounding words, but throughout the ages they changed it. When they were changing into English, those words didn't have they didn't have the same force in it. So they just put down what they thought it was. So it came out Israel.
Yeah.
All the names that got like long vowels, like
Yeah.
and then the Greek,
Yeah.
the Hebrew,
They're different
the
language.
Greek, all those different languages got their own version of the
Yeah.
Bible. So when they wanted to change it to English, they had to go through the Hebrew, the Greek, and other languages to get to transform it into English. So that's where you got different names. Like his name is Ezra. His name is Ezra, but that's not the pure form of the Hebrew language.
Wait. What's his name?
I don't know. You said I'll be honest.
I can get some drink.
I know who Ezra
Some
is in the
drink.
Bible.
I do too.
But I have your
What can you get on the drink?
I want something to drink?
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Out, my corn. Jesus.
Sorry.
This,
One of these, the water, juice.
you just drunk the drink, honey. You're not getting others. No, I'm talking about her. I just seen she just came over here with a can. You didn't have your there we go back.
Pick whatever you want.
Get it. You came with it. Oh. I just seen you. You just came over here with a drink. No, ma'am, you're not getting another drink.
So who do you think you are? Sis?
I
She don't know. She got
don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
So according to the Bible, there are all these tribes. You got from Judah,
Yeah.
Benjamin, and Levi. They're the northern kingdom when the kingdom split during Solomon's reign. Because Solomon kind of went off with worshiping other gods. He got his kingdom.
wives, I got you.
Yeah. So if you
I
see
could.
that, if you're American black, if your father was black,
Then I'm going What about Indian?
they're here too. You gotta know what type of Indian you are.
Cherokee.
Cherokee, that's Gad. So that
I'm mixed.
your Hebrew tribe.
Okay, my daddy, my granddaddy, might be from Gad. I don't know. I don't know because I got full blown Indians that came to my dad. They was my cousins.
Okay.
Okay, this is from my grandma my granddaddy.
Mm-hmm.
Now my dad, I don't know. I'm so confused.
It really depends on your granddaddy.
That's what I'm trying
So
to
if
say.
your granddaddy had
Yeah,
your
Indian,
father.
yeah.
then
That's why I
he's-
know when you said
you're the
that. So
same.
it's my ain't my dad, my granddaddy.
Yeah.
My granddaddy.
Your granddaddy conceived
Indian.
your daddy, so
Yeah.
he and his son are the same.
Yeah, I know.
So if you in your
Who
spirit,
is the granddaddy?
if you're in your spirit, you feel that you're American Indian.
I know I'm Indian.
So
I
you
know I got some of
you
that.
could be from the tribe of Gad, tribe of Reuben. You just have to go back into your history. But the main thing that makes you an Israelite. You can say what from your feeling. You can say I'm a Gadite. I come from the tribe of Gad. So that's who you gonna identify yourself as. So you would say that I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Gad, but you're still an Israelite. That's what counts.
Oh,
So as we go through the Bible, you're going to find out when you read it that the Most High gives salvation to his people. Read Deuteronomy 7 and 6. This is still Moses talking to the Israelites in the wilderness. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you.
We're going to stop at 7 and 6.
Yes, sir.
So when you read that, this is Moses saying this out loud to all the people, because he gathered them together and said, when he came down from the mountain, he had that law. This is the law that he's saying. So he's saying the Most High said, you are the chosen people.
right.
Above all people on the face of the earth. See, when they want to make us serve them, they'll say we're the lowest.
The lowest.
Right now, we are the lowest on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Because just when in our environment, you can see that we're living in the slums area. Even if you got to be rich, they'll still say, white people still say, do you live here? You're living in a mansion, and they'll say, do you live here?
This is how I know that our kind, not all, like you said, brothers. This is how I know we've been lost for so long.
Yeah.
Because I don't judge nobody. I really don't. I pray for everybody, basically, in this situation, because I feel like, addictions and all that stuff, right? I pray about it. It being used and blah, blah. But anyway, a white girl came in the store, and she do drugs, got sores, everything all over her nails just awful. Because she needed something in order to get something. So when she goes out, she's fussing, ma'am, I'm not finna serve you. I'm not finna give you anything. Go to the store where you been getting. You nigger. I stood there, and I'm not okay. The nigger, as we grew up, the crackers called nigger. So I stood there. I'm like to myself, and I thought about it. And I went out the door, and I prayed about it. I smoked cigarettes, so I'm just get that out. Smoke cigarette. I'm like, that let you know how in the world you still think you so superior in your head, to even come out your mouth. That let me know that you still have the audacity to call me a nigger when I'm looking at your trash sheet. Your nasty tail, but you still feel like I'm lower. Right. Your mentality, no. And that's what, and I couldn't get that for nothing in the world. And I prayed. I'm like, God. And I'm like, make their mind frame. Yeah. That's why we got to be so much stronger.
We're already stronger.
We're strong. We got
just
to get.
Don't know it.
We don't know it. We lost for something. I don't get it.
Here's the thing with the word nigger. They say
it's a
hard R at that. We go run around. We call each other that too. But we say nigga.
Nigga.
Because
nigger.
It's family. You got pet names for your daughters and your sons, right? And it's if anybody else hear that, you calling them like do it. You calling them, Pookie and stuff. That's another word for that. But nigger is in the Bible. Did you know that? Get Acts 13, verse 1. It's in the Bible. But here's the thing: how they changed it. Because we were, he's going to read that.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church, there was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon.
Those were prophets of the Lord. Those were Israelites. Go ahead.
That was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and my name.
Read that again. I got
You gotta hear it.
I got it. Right. I got to read that.
Just stop it, nigga.
Let me see it.
Hold it.
Chapter 13, verse 1.
Let me see it.
It's right there. Got it highlighted.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh my! And you know what I was saying? Niger.
That's the lie that's the lie they told, because
I remember
it was never said like that until the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
Now they changed that word from nigger
Yeah.
to Niger
I got it.
to fool your ass.
In the church that was an Antioch, certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that was called Niger, nigger.
It's nigger. When you look it up, there's a way you can look it up, because this man named Strong, he categorized all the words in the Bible with the definitions and everything. So when you go into it, I don't know if I can. I got my phone. I got the phone. So they made that word
So bad.
bad.
So
But
bad.
we,
Go get it back there.
as it says that they were, Simeon and Barnabas were called nigger
And they were black.
because they were
Well,
dark
like
skinned
dark-skinned.
people.
But I mean,
And
night.
it's
It
not
was like
it's,
night, nigger.
yeah,
I got
it's
you.
not it's not derogatory.
My God, they
It's
were
not-
black.
So when a white person calls you nigga, it triggers you,
Yeah.
because
Of what we was taught, what was brain.
all through the centuries you were taught
Right.
nigga's a bad word, you're a nigga, so I'm gonna call you nigga and make you feel bad.
Black because it was a color. It was just the
Right,
color they were using.
It just means,
Black, dark.
let me get this. Because there's all kinds of information all through the world, and they'll try to hide it. Like this is Zondervan Combat Bible Dictionary. It's got all the words, what it means, and how to pronounce it. So I'm gonna look up nigga, or how they say Niger.
It's just what people did.
Sister, when you first got here, you asked about, you said we all come from Africa and stuff like that. Technically, that's not even true either.
I said that what they say.
You get a second. I can read it out. I can read it out.
Sure.
Read it out to you. It's in the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 26. Read it out to you.
Okay.
And this letter so small.
I'm gonna start the verse prior. It says, Galatians chapter 4, verse 25. It says, "For Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, in answer to Jerusalem, which is now and is in bondage with her children." It says, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all." That's what that's talking about. It said we are from Jerusalem. Africa is the place, during these, correct me if I'm wrong, Captain, after the slave trade, after the war in 70 AD, and they had been in Jerusalem, all of our people scattered different points of the earth. They went to the part that we call Africa today, which is actually named after a black man, after a white guy, Scipio Africanus. It's a white guy that invaded that part of the world, chasing our people. And then that's why they named Africa that after him, Scipio Africanus. So technically, Jerusalem is our homeland. That's why I let you know that you said something about that earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So even in this is written by a white man, and he's telling the truth, but he's putting his little spin on it. And here,
Be careful. Be careful. Oh. Be careful, girl.
so that's the real word. You look at it, the spelling and the pronunciation is Niger. There's no G in there. It's J. So it's ni. They're spelling it. They're saying it wrong.
Yeah.
But look right after that.
Nice. I remember what Niger
So look right after that.
said. Black.
It's black, right?
Yeah. I remember that. For some reason I remember that. I don't know how I remember. I remember not when you said it, I got it. It came black. God.
Yeah, so
So all that while, when they were saying nigger, they were saying black, and it wasn't bad. You know,
yeah,
it wasn't bad.
It-
We perceived it. We perceived it as being bad.
they told us it was bad.
Yeah, it was just black. Was just saying
Even
our
today,
color.
what's
When
the
they were
familiar
saying,
way of saying that? We say, "What's up, my nigga?" That's
Yeah, I
love.
know, but black, it was
That's
really
the love in it. It was
where the hatred came. The pure hatred. Because they knew who we were before they knew
they
knew how powerful we were.
They know
and they
that in order to keep us down,
keep it down,
they got to keep us in sync.
keeping with each other and doing stuff,
Right.
making one jealous.
You just mentioned something that's it's in the Bible, but it's called. We're going to go through the blessings and the curse.
Mm-hmm.
We go through this with a lot of people. He's going to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. So you get the sense of what's going on. Why things are going down the way they're going down. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Oh, hold on there. The first line was, "It shall come to pass." That means it's sure to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
So that's what he's reading now. Read that. Continue.
To observe and to do all his commandments,
All his commandments.
which I command thee this day,
That was that day in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
On high.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed thou shalt be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Okay, hold it there. When he said above all people out on the face of the earth, this is the nations of the earth. This is the original people. That was their name. This says the white man's supposed to be sent.
I don't eat them. It's like saying Adam. I know, but it's like saying Adam, man.
Not quite, because
I know, but I'm seeing Adam.
I know
I really
you're
am.
seeing Adam,
Yeah,
but Adam is not Adawam.
I know that.
This
But
is the Hebrew word for red.
red Adam.
Adawan,
There was
which
red. There
was
wasn't
with
white.
that was Adam's name.
Mhm.
That's not Adam's name.
Mhm.
You got to get deep in the Bible to understand why.
Do y'all have anything that? Cause I know my daughter ready to go. And we
Okay.
stay on, and we're going to Georgia tomorrow. But do y'all have anything I could read that help me with my study or something?
The only thing I can tell you to read is the Bible.
I'm not.
But we got lessons. I'm gonna give you this flyer.
Yeah.
Let me give it a go.
Do y'all? Where y'all
Go-
located at?
Go on to YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Okay.
Look up Sons of Thunder on
Okay.
YouTube, and there's lessons on there,
Okay then.
and you can learn from there.
Okay then.
We, since in the Bible, since it says we're scattered, the
Yeah.
Most High is gonna scatter us throughout the world. We're scattered here.
You showed up.
This guy, this brother here, comes from northwest Florida. He's about 2 hours away. That's how we're scattered. He comes here to help me out. So we got brothers in all the states.
Mhm.
But the main thing is to realize who you are.
Mhm.
You got to keep the commandments.
I am.
You believe in Jesus Christ because you were brought up that way to
Right.
believe. But you've been believing the wrong Jesus Christ. You're supposed to be believing Yahweh Shai. That's our black brother, because
Okay.
it's in the Bible. It white people say Jesus doesn't have a description in the Bible. Those are people who never read the Bible. his descriptions in the Bible in two places.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to read Revelation, which is it's the last book in the Bible. He's going to read that and see if this is a white man.
Oh, I know it's not white.
But you never knew that it actually says what he looked like.
Wool hair and all that, right? I read that.
So he does have a description in the Bible. Why do white people say he got no description? Because it says that he's a black man. That's why white people will not agree to that. Even when they read it, they don't agree. Well, his hair was, it says, read that, how it exactly goes.
Gotcha. Book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
All right, stop. His head, which means the top of his head, and his hairs was his beard. It's a law that says men can't shave their beard. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
White like what? You give the texture and the color. White is the color. Texture, wool that's the texture. Show me a white man's got hair, wool, nigga's hair. That ain't possible. Read.
As white as snow, and his eyes were a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
All right, hold it there. What kind of people got feet dark like brass that been burned in the furnace?
Okay, brother. Hey, brother, come on over here, bro. Come on over.
You got somewhere to go?
See, we be a minute, man.
We bringing out the word to sister here.
How you doing, sister mama?
Who's good?
So if you read that, you say
You want something to drink?
Yes, man.
Jesus Christ is not a white man like
I
that.
knew that.
But did you know that there's another description of him in the Bible?
Anybody know what?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
And it's the God is black. How do you know God's black?
I don't know that.
Read Daniel 7:9.
7-9.
Because in my how I perceive, he was so brilliant that didn't nobody really see him. I know the presence of him.
You can't see the Lord God and live. That's
what I'm saying.
That's his commandment.
There's no way.
He allows certain people to see him
Now my God,
as a far off distance. You can tell a white man from a black man almost a mile away. Oh, there, because it's distinctive.
I had a brother that I'm a preacher's child, first of all.
Okay.
So just let y'all know that. So I didn't read the Bible, many books and everything. My brother died probably about 10 years ago. Me and him was real close. He was right behind me. Yeah, it was. But he told me, he was like, Beverly. That's how I believe everything. He said Beverly. He said, he's on the deathbed. I had a vision of God. Never saw him. He said, I never saw him. But I was walking on green grass, and there was a baby and something else. He said it was in the grass, and he saw a hand tickling him. He said, but he knew he was there. It was walking and talking, but he couldn't see him. He never seen him. So
God.
Yeah, it was God, and then like.
So you can't see him, but you can see parts of his image.
Yeah,
because he did that to Moses.
Yeah, he did.
He said, Moses, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna put my hand to keep you from seeing me. Because if you see me, you gotta stay here.
Yeah.
So that's a clue that he had that law that once you see him, you gotta stay near him until he send you back. But read that.
What church y'all in?
We're with Sons of Thunder.
Yeah.
It's not the church is the church.
It's true. It's telling you, it's like the history. Okay, there's religion and all this stuff right here, but it's telling the real who we really are.
Yeah. So we don't go as saying a church just like you see the church, a brick and mortar church. It's not like that. It's a congregation of certain people, which are the Israelites.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
But like I said, we will. Ooh, golly, let me get ready to go on over there. But I really appreciate
We
everything
appreciate you
y'all
coming
teaching.
by.
I really do. I enjoy it.
You want
You got to go all the way
You
up.
want to see how you can prove God is black? He gonna. We'll let you get out there. Read
I get one of the water too.
Yeah.
Read it back.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, to all the kingdoms of the earth, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
The Ancient of Days is the oldest being in the universe. That's God, right? Read.
Whose garment was white as snow,
Garment was white.
and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
And who's got woolly hair? Now they mention the skin tone because we know who we are. This is written for us. This is not written for the white man, because the white man to get in there and erase that line and put something in there that don't belong. So you can tell that that's written for us to wake up. And in these last days, we're waking up.
Thank you for watching. If you wish to donate, you can use Zelle or PayPal. We're the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved. Shalom.